What's good, YouTube? In this video we're going to be talking about how to solo queue in ranked arenas. Now when it comes to ranked arenas, soloing, there is definitely struggles when it comes to it. You have to worry about your teammates, you have to worry about the matchmaking. There's so many things that you have to think of when it comes to soloing, which makes soloing very difficult. In this video we're going to be talking about how you could perform to your best when it comes to soloing and give yourself the best chance to rank up as a solo. Now me personally, I want to say that I probably soloed 70% of this season so far when it comes to ranked arenas. I can for sure tell you the struggles of soloing. Now the first thing that we're going to be talking about are the struggles when it comes to soloing, and the struggles that we all know that we face are the randoms that do their own thing. That is probably one of the most frustrating things when it comes to solo. I mean, you have random teammates that are just go their own way. They go the opposite way of the circle, which will for sure put you and your team in a bad position, which is very key. And not only that, random teammates will also die way too much and die way too quick, which would leave you and your teammates, or at least you and your teammate, to go against the enemies as a 2v3. Just random teammates just can be a struggle. I know sometimes when soloing, the game will give you, some good teammates, which, it happens, but it doesn't happen way too much. Usually when it comes to teammates, the game usually gives you, teammates that just either don't fit your playstyle or they are just throwing games, which is a struggle. The main things that I wanted to talk about to fix that and to help you guys improve and do better. First thing we're going to talk about is leading by example. I think it's key that you lead when it comes to soloing, because you do not want your teammates to lead. Sometimes, or at least majority of the times, the teammates will probably lead you to death or lead you to a loss. Try to be the IGL, which stands for the in-game leader. Ping where you want to go, ping what you're gonna do. If you have a mic, talk as much as you want on the mic to let your teammates know what you're gonna do, how you guys should play it. Lead by telling them the strategy that you think you're gonna come up with. That's the first thing. And then the second thing that when it comes to being a solo, which is probably one of the most important things, is to watch your teammate. Depending on what legend you are, you might want to stick with your teammates, especially if your teammates is struggling. If you see your teammate always going down and going down quick, probably stick with that teammate so that you guys could stay together and team shoot the enemy, so you guys could double team the enemy. But if you see your teammates and if they're decent and they're doing their own thing, maybe you want to play off your teammates, as in you're maybe getting angles, or you're trying to make a play to push up on the enemies. But always keep in mind of your teammates. Watch their health, watch their positioning. I think that's very key. If you see your teammate about to go into a bad spot, either tell them to come back, or if you can't tell them and if they're hard-headed, then definitely go with them to support them. The third thing that we're going to talk about is playing your life. It's so hard to count on your randoms, so you want to play your life. Heal up as much as possible. Never go into a fight less health than the enemies, unless if you're teaming up with your teammates to shoot one enemy. But always play your life. If let's say if you guys do lose a round, make sure that you're the last one that's dead. There's nothing worse than being the first one down and then you have to rely on your teammates and that they won't do anything. Always play your life, heal as much as possible, and try to do as much damage to the enemies. But that's another thing too, just focus on the damage, right? If you have the opportunity to one clip someone, but that you'll probably put yourself in a bad position by going down from the enemies, then just do as much damage and go back and heal. Don't even trading with the enemies. Let's say if you knock one but they knock you, so now it's a 2v2, but you still have to rely on your teammates. Don't really focus, don't rely on that, because you can't really trust the random teammate. So just play your life. Another thing is use your abilities, right? When it comes to soloing, you want to do what you can to help your teammates as much as possible. Make your teammates feel like they're comfortable being around you. Do your best to help them, and they'll probably play better, and they'll also probably probably listen to you. That probably will happen by the damage and kills that you do, but also the help with your abilities. So the legend that you choose is very key when it comes to soloing. And yeah, just use your abilities. For instance, I mainly use Pathfinder. Pathfinder with his zipline is something that is very key. I mean, you could take your whole team to the middle of the map and have them have good positioning from the start because of the zipline. I use Pathfinder as well for individual purposes, which is like the grapple. If I can't bring the team to the middle of the spot or the best spot in the game, then I will grapple there as an individual. But for sure, every other round when I get the zipline, I will use that zipline to make sure that the team is in a good spot. And that's key when it comes to soloing. You know, you want to use your abilities. Now, other legends that are good for soloing are legends like, just like Pathfinder, Octane. Octane is good because he gives that same purpose with the jump pad. He can use that jump pad to help you and your teammates get to the middle of the spot. And then the third person I want to talk about is Bloodhound. Bloodhound is key when it comes to arenas, especially as a solo, because he is someone that could give the team information, and information is key when it comes to Apex. If you know where the team, or not the team, but if you know where the enemies are, you could definitely help your teammates out a lot because of the scan that Bloodhound has. That's what you could do with Bloodhound. So Bloodhound's a very good character. Another character that is good as a solo can be Lifeline, but the only thing with Lifeline, it can be difficult as a solo is because of just the fact that you have to, you know, it's so hard to make a play as a Lifeline, and you have to be dependent on your teammates. Kind of, because as a Lifeline, you don't want to be the first one to go down for sure, because that's what your abilities are based off. Your abilities are based off picking your teammates up. So like I said, you could definitely turn a game around if your teammate goes down as a Lifeline, but it's kind of difficult to grab angles, flank, you know, things like that with a Lifeline. But Lifeline is a good legend and is one of the best legends in arenas. If you do get decent teammates, Lifeline could definitely work as a solo. Now, also when it comes to the matchmaking, that is something that is out of your control. Unfortunately, sometimes the game, like I said, will give you bad teammates, and then they will make you go against enemies that are a 3-stack, whether, you know, 3-stack diamonds, 3-stack masters, 3-stack preds, you know, just a 3-stack team, which suck, especially when you solo. Usually I find this often more when playing as a solo. You'll play against, you know, teams that are stacked up, which I simply do not get. I don't know why they do that. Last season for sure, if you played solo, you're mainly going against other solos on the enemy team, but for some reason this season, when you're a solo, I feel like they make you go against other teams. Now, just some general tips when it comes to soloing. I want to say the first thing that I recommend doing, if you have good stats, like, you know, your stats like kills, wins, damage, and, you know, you have good badges like the 4K 20 kill badge, the 10-10-10 badge. Me personally, if you're playing as a solo, I would definitely recommend hiding those stats, because I know that when I'm playing and if I see the enemies, and if one of those players on the enemy team have good stats, I'm definitely going to focus in on that guy or on that enemy. Me personally, when I solo, I definitely turn off my stats. I turn off my badges. If anything, I'm gonna put something to like a low level badge or a low level stat, you know, to maybe trick the enemies to think that trash. But at the end of the day, you don't really want to be focused. Now, another thing with soloing, which I know soloing does suck, but if you and your team win, and if you're playing good with that, you know, the two randoms that you have, invite them after the game. Maybe you guys could, I mean, it's happened to me to where I invited, or my teammates have invited me, and we ended up going on a, you know, winning streak. This helps out a lot. Do that, and eventually your friend list on Apex will probably be filled up with a lot of arena players that are, you know, around your rank. And then like future, like tomorrow or next day, invite them, and because they're on your friend list. So that helps out a lot. Finish a game, you know, you invite your random teammates. If they join and you guys go on a win streak, add them, and it helps out a lot. Now, like I said in this video, soloing is very difficult, especially this season, but it is doable. Solo, the main thing that you really just want to focus on is just leading by example. You know, make sure you keep an eye on your teammates at all times. If they're getting hurt, you definitely want to go over there. If they're in bad position, or you know they're about to be in bad position, tell them to come back or just, you know, go over there to support them so that they're not off on their own. And then the third thing is to play your life. You know, you don't want to depend or rely on your teammates. So play your life. Also, when I say play your life, that doesn't mean to ditch your teammates, because you still want to be there to help your teammates as much as possible. When I say play your life is if you are low on a gun battle or gun fight or whatever, definitely heal up. You know, don't try to trade with the enemies. You know, you just want to stay alive and make sure you know that's the best way to help your team, just stay alive. And then also we talked about, you know, use your abilities. You know, choose a legend for arenas that's going to help you and your teammates out a lot because of the abilities that, you know, the legend that you choose. So that's big time. Good luck to y'all if you are soloing. And yeah, this was the video, so let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.